have a video on the Santorini Greece flying dresses. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is down below. I actually shared some of the photos and videos behind the scenes of when I went to Europe this summer, and it was absolutely amazing. That being said, I do feel like there's not enough information about these photo shoots out there, and I thought I would make this video in case you are considering getting your photos done in Santorini. Before I get started, I want to say first and foremost, this isn't a once in a lifetime kind of experience. Unless you're someone who's going to be constantly going to Greece, it is something that it's like YOLO, you only live once. That being said, I do feel like it is a little pricey. You're going to spend for one person probably around like 250 to 300 euro, and then depending on how many other people you have, that price point is going to go up. I feel like I was quoted a pretty good price. There was supposed to be 4 of us taking photos, me, my husband, my son, and my mother. And as I talk about different things, I will have posts, I will show pictures here of, you know, the photos that we got done, like a few of them. And I will say, in relation to photography here in the US, I can only speak from my experience with like the photos that I've gotten done from different photographers here in the US. I do feel like it was a good price point as far as like how many photos I got. When he edited and sent them to me, I was super shocked. There was around 84 pictures. And they were all edited and absolutely stunning and beautiful. And I do feel like here in the US, the times that I've gotten with professional photographers, I am limited to like 15 to 30 minutes and only like 10 to 15 photos for $250 to $300. So I do feel like, you know, he was with us over an hour and took us all around Santorini to get these beautiful backdrops for our photos. And then on top of that, gave us almost every single picture he took edited. So I do feel like the price point is worth it. That's just gonna depend on you and what your price points are, like what your budget is and how much you're willing to spend. So overall, for 4 people, I was estimated a little over 400, I want to say like 450 euros, something like that. And I feel like it was good for 4 people. That being said, my husband did not end up in the photo shoot, and I will get to that at some point in this video. So there are 2 ways that you can get these photos done. First off, you can stay in Santorini, and I do feel like this way is going to be easier, especially if you stay in Oia, because that is where the majority of pictures are done. There's a lot of Airbnbs there. There's a lot of hotels. A lot of people go stay. It's absolutely beautiful. And I feel like if you're staying at the hotel, it's going to be more accessible to you. You're not going to be in that big of a rush to get to the photographer. So highly recommend that. But if you're like me, I went to Venice for 2 days, stayed in a hotel, and then took a cruise. And one of the stops in the cruise was to Santorini, and it docks in Fira. That being said, I had never heard of these photos. This was suggested by someone that I know who told me, oh my God, if you're going there, you have to do these photos. They're going to be stunning. They're going to be beautiful. And she convinced me to do them. Okay, well, if you're going on a cruise, especially with Royal Caribbean, they do not dock at the dock, like at the port. They stay tendered in the water, which means that they're going to anchor, and then they're going to have little boats tender you to the port. And I'll try to have pictures here. That being said, the first tender boat leaves probably, depending on when your boat gets there, at 7 a.m. And I was lucky enough that our ship was going to stay there tendered until I think it was like 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. So I had a good stretch of the day, but you don't want it to get too hot outside for these photos. I went in July, which is a hot month. And even then, you know, you want to try to get there as early as possible. So when we were on the ship, I woke up at like 4 something in the morning, got my makeup done, helped my mom a little bit with her makeup, and then woke up everybody and sent everybody to go get a really, really early breakfast. While everyone was getting breakfast, I was in line for the tender boats. And that's super important if you're on the cruise, because you want to be on one of the first tender boats out, so that you're, you know, it's not too hot, you're not backtracked, like your makeup doesn't, you know, the whole 9 yards. So I went in, got a ticket. By the time I got to the front of the line, the girl only had tender boats for number 6, which was going to be like at, I want to say, she told me between 8:30 to 9 a.m. And I was like, oh my God, look, I have this photo shoot. I don't know what to do. I stepped into this line. Like, I got here even before the line started. The line was supposed to open at 6 a.m. People had been making the line since like 5:30 in the morning. So I got there around like 5:40-ish. And I was being tendered for boat number 6. So I was like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. And all of that was like a lot of stress on me, because I'm the planner in my family. I'm the one who plans every single detail of everything, whether it be a birthday party to trips. And so thankfully the girl was very understanding. She's like, hey, we're reserving tender for boat number 1 for people like you who have private tours or things like what you're doing. So she gave me boat number 1. I went upstairs, had like, I don't know, something light, and then we went to the room, got everything. That being said, I highly recommend that if you have a spouse, that they are already dressed. Why I say that is because we thought, in my ignorance, when I talked to the photographer through Instagram messaging him, I thought that when he said, yeah, we'll meet up and you guys can change, I thought like, oh, we're gonna go like a studio or an apartment or a bathroom. I don't know. In my mind, I guess like I just assumed that, and you know what they say about assuming. So that was totally at my fault. I screwed up. I should have asked. But so my husband had on a hanger like all the clothes, like this really beautiful button-up shirt that he was gonna wear with these pants, and then we had a cute little outfit for my son, which I will put around here, him wearing it. And so we carried that so that it wouldn't get all wrinkled. When you get to Fira and you get tendered to the port, there is 3 options to get to Oya from Fira. When you get to the port, there's cable cars that go up, which I'll try to put video and like photos here to the side. It's a very steep, like literally just mountain, like just a steep mountain there. And you can go up the cable car. There are probably a little over 500 steps, something around that nature, from the bottom of that hill all the way to the top, which is how people, for, you know, before the cable cars would get up. And there, you can either walk it or have donkeys. I have, you know, my own feeling about the donkeys, because I don't know. It seems very cruel to me with the heat and how much, and I know that they have for many, you know, in Greece, that's something very common to use donkeys for transportation, but I don't know. I just feel like nowadays we do have the cable cars or other options, so I rather do the cable cars. Another thing is that if you're gonna do the donkeys, when we were around them, I'll try to put a little video here, they poop and pee like all the time. The whole time that I saw them moving up and down, they are pooping, peeing. They don't have the most nice aroma around them. And so I highly recommend that if you want to take a photo shoot, you usually are gonna have makeup, you want to look nice, so I don't know. And if you guys want me to do how I did my makeup for photos or stuff like that, I can do a separate video, so let me know if that's something that interests you. For these photos, they're going to be from far away. You're not gonna have any like beauty shots or anything like that, so you can do a very simple eye. I did just like a few lashes here on the outside using the falscara lashes, and I think I used the Bond from the falscara, and then I used the, what were those called? Okay, so the ones that I used were these, But the natural style, these are the Impress press-on falsies. And I did use a little bit of the Falscara bond to help a little like extra stick it on because it's gonna be windy. I was gonna be on boats and I didn't want, you know, that whole jazz. But if you guys want a separate video for makeup, let me know down below. Once you get on the tender boat and get there and get on the cable car or do the donkey walk, whatever it is that you want to do, there is also a third option. There's a fast ferry boat. I didn't do that because I was able to get on the cable car right away. I didn't have to do that big of a line for the cable car. But depending on how many boats are there and if other boats have already started tendering, there are reviews online for the cable car that sometimes people are there for like an hour, 2 hours. Thankfully for us, it was probably like not even like 10 minutes or so. So we got on the cable car, got up there, and once I got up there, I knew that I had to take a bus to Oya, and I could not find the bus station. Google Maps is gonna be your best friend. If you have, like for me, I have T-Mobile, and T-Mobile actually lets you have text and data in a lot of different countries depending on your plan, so you do wanna call them. But I, in Croatia, Greece, Italy, have text and data, and that really helped me a lot using Google Maps. And at first I was kind of getting lost and I couldn't find where this bus station was because it is probably like a 5-minute walk once you know where it's at. But I stopped at a few private car places to ask how much it would be to Oya, and the majority of them told me 50 to 60 euro, and I was like, damn, that's a lot of money. And remember, euros are more than dollars, so you have to multiply that. When we went, the currency was like $1.18 for each euro, so multiply that and you'll see, like, you know, it adds up really quick. So I was like, you know what, that's too much. We're gonna find this bus station. Once I found the bus station, which I'll try to, I don't know if I could do that, or try to put the Google map here if I can so you guys can see it, and that way if you're looking for that, you go for it. Once I found the bus station, it was $1.80 per person, and they didn't even charge me for my son, so it was totally worth finding the bus station. I will say, once you're on the bus, it is quite the adventure. When we got there, the bus was full. All of us had to stand up. Thankfully, a lady was super sweet and let my son sit down, but the majority of the ride, especially from here to there, we had to stand up. On the way back from Oya to Fira to the port, thankfully we were able to get seats, but literally the bus driver would stop for every single person he could see. And it was just like crammed. Like, he just kept cramming people in there. We were standing up. It reminded me a lot of Puerto Rico because the mountainside was really steep, the roads were really curvy and small, and so I wasn't as scared because I feel like it's almost like home to me, but I could see a lot of the tourists like a little concerned. So that's just something to know in your mind, just, you know, an FYI. Once I got to Oya, I went ahead and wrote him and let him know that I was there. He literally told me just to send him a picture of where I was located at and he would find me. And I was like, what? But apparently Oya is really small. Only tourism is there. Nobody really lives there anymore. And he takes photos everywhere, so he knows like all of Oya. He sent his assistant to come meet us. And she said, hey, we're gonna go to my car. That's where the dresses are, because they rent the dresses for you. The dresses come in different colors and, you know, that kind of jazz. I wanted blue, and then my mom wanted a green one. When we got to her car, she opened her trunk and was literally like, who's gonna put on the dress first? And I'm thinking, wait, like here in the parking lot? Like, this parking lot, there was people moving around the parking lot. There was people like backing out. And that's just gonna depend on you as a person, because I'm one of those people, I do what I gotta do. My mom's like that, but my husband, he ain't like that. He's somebody who is not going to just be like, let me take it all off, this is what I need to do. No, he is more shy, and you know, each person's not gonna be the same. Over there, you have to be okay with, you know, taking stuff on and off and people staring at you, other tourists looking at you, other tourists taking pictures of you, because all of that happened while we were there. So my mom is the first one, and she literally was like holding the dress like this, and then, you know, the girl was tying it. I will say I had taken, for just in case, like one of those little bras. Oh, I actually did a review. The bra that I reviewed that was like a sticky bra, I took that thinking that I was going to use that. The girl said no bra. She literally, like, and because it's such a thick material, she makes the bra for you, and she lifts them up, puts them in place, makes them, you know, the tatas look good for the whole dress, and then she ties the dress in the back really nice and tight. So I had no issue with that. Me and my mom both got dressed in the middle of this parking lot. It was a little crazy. In the inside of her car, I dressed my son. And my husband had checked out, which I was okay with. I was like, because I respect when he's not comfortable in something, I respect it. It was a little sad to me because, you know, we traveled so many hours to take these pictures. Not only, you know, just going to like all these countries, flights that are like so long to get over there. But I said, I'm not going to stress about it. I'm just going to go with the flow because, you know what I mean? I'm not going to pressure him. If he doesn't feel comfortable, it is what it is. And sometimes you just got to, like Mel Robbins says, just let them. And that's what I did. I said, are you sure? And he said, I'm sure. I'm done. Like, no, I'm not doing this. So he and my dad were just, you know, with us. They didn't take pictures. My dad had from the get-go said that he didn't want to do it. So we hadn't even included him in. And then my husband, because of the whole changing situation, he refused to like just try to get dressed there. He was just so uncomfortable. So I said, you know, screw it. And from there, we basically, I would say, take some flip-flops with you. Something that's super comfortable, some kind of flip-flop that's comfortable, because you are going to be walking, going up steps, going down steps, the whole 9 yards. And I had tennis shoes on because after these photos, I still want to do tourism around, you know, go to the different sites and see stuff and do a little shopping. And so basically I turned my tennis shoe into like a Croc or something. I wasn't like I left them tied, and then I just stuck my feet in them and was kind of like walking with my tennis shoes like that. And then these dresses, you have to pick them up because they're so long, so you're basically like huddling the dress together in your arms like this. So behind all this gorgeousness that are these photos, you are going to be getting sweaty, you're going to be walking, you're going to go up and down steps, and you have to be okay with that, you know what I mean? And my husband, after he saw like everything that we went through, he was like, I'm kind of happy that I didn't do that because I feel like I would be so uncomfortable. I did really like that he took us to different spots. There's a lot of tourists there, so people are like, there's different destinations, especially that people want to take photos because, you know, they're famous, where like there's especially one set of stairs that there was like a line to do photos there, and at least him and his assistant were like telling people like, hey, you know, after them, we're going. And then people would try to get in the way, and they'd be like, no, you're gonna have to wait, you know, because they're used to having to deal with tourists. And, you know, tourists can be quite pushy and annoying at times. So it was really nice, and those photos turned out beautiful. I'll put a few of them here. And I really like that area because of the wall there. There was a little bit of shadow, and the sun wasn't as much in my face, and I really love those photos a lot because of that. I already have small eyes, and then you put me in the sun, it's just gonna be like super tiny. There were a lot of times that he had to tell me to close my eyes, count, and then I would open them for the photo. Towards the end of the photo shoot, I can tell you I was tired from going up and down, having to deal with my son because he's 5. He's like chatty. My son's super, super chatty and wants to do, like, he's very curious as to everything. And I also want to have just a good vacation, so I didn't want to be scolding him all the time. And so by the time we were at the end of the photo shoot, I was really tired. And also, you have to be able to point your foot, extend your foot to like elongate your leg and just look very, very just like beautiful. And by the end, my leg was cramping. Like my foot, from doing that whole position on my foot, was cramping quite a bit. My mom has arthritis and she was having a lot of issues with it as well because of that, because you have to, for all of these photos, hold these different positions, arch your back, bring down your shoulders, put your head. I do feel like this photographer, specifically the one who took my photos, if you go to him, definitely tell him I sent you. I feel like he was really, really good about giving direction, because I'm okay with taking selfies, okay? I'm good at like, finding my angles, selfie time. But you put me behind a camera lens and I don't know what to do. Like, I'm just gonna act super awkward. I feel awkward, and I feel like he, you know, as the photo shoot went out, kept going, I feel like we loosened up more, because at first I felt like me and my mom were super tense and like it was kind of like uncomfortable, like you're awkward. And then people who would walk by would stop to take pictures of us, like tourists from that were just walking by are like, oh, look, oh, wow. So it was kind of awkward at first, but as it progressed, it felt really, really comfortable. He gave a lot of good direction. And overall, I feel like I love the majority of the pictures. Of course, there's going to be pictures that don't come out perfect. There's little things here, you know, you closed your eyes, whatever it is. But overall, I do feel like they're absolutely beautiful. After we finished, we literally in a corner took off the dresses and like put on our shorts back on from underneath, put on my bra. Like it was, you know, the good thing was that the assistant was able to take the dress and like lift it up, and that helped cover me, so I was able to like put on my bra and do everything. And by the time we finished, we were at a different area, like really down steps. We went down quite a bit, and so people weren't there. There wasn't a lot of tourists there like walking by, so it was a little bit easier to change. And while you're there, you're gonna see other couples. We saw a couple that was getting married and they were having those photos, and it's kind of comical because you see like this beautiful lady dressed in a huge wedding dress, like holding it up, sweaty, with tennis shoes underneath. And so it isn't all glamour and beautiful, but the total outcome is what really matters, and it's absolutely stunning. Once we finished, we went to an ATM machine. I gave him the rest of the money. I was kind of scared, to be honest with you guys, because I thought I was gonna get, like, I had given him a deposit, and then I was thinking like I was gonna give him half and then PayPal him the other half, but he requested all of it, so that's just something to know before you go. But you know, I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna trust him. But he did deliver all of the photos, so there was no issue whatsoever. I was kind of like, oh God, like I just gave him all the money. If he wanted to, he could like never edit any of them or give me any of them. So that's just something to keep in mind. Definitely, I highly recommend him, or if you look into a different photographer, definitely check out reviews, because you don't want somebody who, you know, could possibly do that to you. But overall, after that, we had gelatos, we walked around, we took pictures, we took the cable car back down, went to the cruise, and it was like, okay, we did the damn thing. Overall, I absolutely love the experience. I wish that my husband had been in the photos, because he has just absolutely gorgeous photos of couples. But at the same time, I just had to respect that in that moment my husband had checked out and he was not gonna do it. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions down below. I'll try to help you or answer anything that I can. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.